Welcome to Indie Senior Living Series. I'm Lisa Treadwell, as you guys know. Online, ladies, this is a audience member here, so be sure to talk to the folks online. Welcome if you're online via YouTube, Facebook, or Zoom. We're recording this, so we're going to post it later for everybody to view, and you can share it with all your friends because we've got a ton of information. This month we're talking about this is Indie Senior Living Series. Did I say that? Today we're talking about hobbies, creative hobbies for boomers. I suppose they're not necessarily for boomers. They could be for anyone, but the hobbies and activities that we've curated for you, you've got a huge 10-page spreadsheet that I spent a lot of time putting together for you all. And if you're online, you can find this in our link, which we'll post. It's actually, Mohammed, if you want to go to the housekeeping, there you go. Thank you. So if you're online, you see housekeeping, that tiny URL at the bottom, tinyurl.com/event handouts. You can find the same materials that the folks in the room have. There's going to be a handout with all the questions we're asking, all of our sponsors and their contact information, and our panelists and their contact information as well, and this spreadsheet that we're going to talk about. So Indie Senior Living Series, it's a monthly educational panel for seniors. And we are online, as you guys know. Hello there. You guys are muted and your cameras are off, but you are welcome to turn them on so we can see your lovely faces. We'd like that. If you're in person, you know the restrooms are just out the door and to the left down the hall. Some people have not been here to an in-person event in a while, so the restrooms are amazing if you have not been here. So be sure to check out the restrooms. We're working on coffee refills and pastries. So we're working on that for you if you're in person. Online, if you've got a question, you can unmute your mics. You can use the raise your hand emoji. If you're on your phone dialing in, I don't think there's anyone like that, but if you are, it's *6 on your phone. If you're in the room, the only question rule I have is wait till I get to you with the microphone, because while we don't necessarily need it so much in the room, actually I was holding it too close because it probably sounded too loud online. You probably hold it about right here. The online folks, I got a lot of compliments last week or last month and the previous month since we've been here at Wheaton about the sound. The audio is fantastic online. So just wait till I get to you with the mic, hold it about right here, and you can ask your questions that way. And you guys too, just, hold it like that. What else? I talked about mics and cameras, *6 for calling from your phone. Next month is October 10th. We're going to be talking about downsizing. So we'll have a panel that includes our team because we're specialists in downsizing, and then a couple of our contractors that we work with. So be sure to RSVP for that. You can use the link that that comes in the newsletter. You can RSVP on the feedback form, or you can call that number, this 317-731-2289. You guys know the address by now, if you're here in person. And speaking of the address, Wheaton, as well as all of the people in the back, and Tiffany over here is here, with us today. The sponsors are an integral part of this event. They help us to keep the event free to everyone. Hi, we need coffee. Yes, we love coffee in the mornings. Yeah, so the sponsors are great. Make sure you go back to the back of the room and visit them. It looks like we've got some fantastic artwork back there to look at, and then lots of educational materials, and some good information. If you've got personal questions that you want to ask them, please leverage our sponsors who are here today. If you are in person and you register, or make sure you register for the door prizes. We have ClearCaptions brought their basket like they always do. And then Tiffany is one of the owners of Eagledale Florist. So we have Tiffany today, and she brought the roses as always. So thank you guys to all the sponsors. We really couldn't do it without you all. And we appreciate that. Oh, and sponsors, I gave you this. Make sure you pop all of your information into the chat boxes online, share the video, repost it on your pages, on your personal and business pages, because that's how the event gets traction. I've been doing a lot of research lately about the number of folks who are retiring. And you guys have probably heard this statistic. There's over 10,000 baby boomers are retiring every single day in the United States. And so, and if you can even break that down into a state level, or even just central Indiana. And we do not have, it would fill probably 4 of these buildings, of these huge Wheaton headquarters buildings, the number of folks who are retiring and or not living in a safe living environment. So that's our goal, is to help people get into a safe living environment. So getting the word out about these events is really important. And so share those videos. If you guys find us online, downsizingindy.com, be sure to share it with your friends and neighbors, people you go to church with, things like that, because we'd really like to continue growing it and educating more folks about our services, as well as our panelists and our sponsor services. So I think that's it on the housekeeping items. All right, so today we're going to be talking about creative hobbies for seniors, and it's actually, did everybody know it's it's assisted living week this week. So we're down a few sponsors because they're doing activities at their communities, but we have Jody here with Majestic Care of Carmel, and her activities coordinator. Do you guys want to go ahead and introduce yourselves?
Good morning. I'm Jody. I am the marketing director at Majestic Care of Carmel in Carmel. We are located at 12999 North Pennsylvania Street. I have been at this community for 2.5 years. Been in healthcare for, well, since 2007, I believe it was. My specific job is to help folks find a safe home to live in, which would be the apartments on the assisted and or independent living at Majestic Care. Jamie, she is activities. She is the gal that specifically the artwork that you'll see back there when you walk around later. She is the gal that has taught the residents all of that artwork. Any type of artwork that you can think of, Jamie creates. If you think it can't be created, Jamie will let you know that it can be created. Have anything else to say? No?
I
Okay.
bring the joy.
She said she brings the joy.
Okay, yeah. So some of their artwork back there is amazing. I took a look at it before. And then the main thing I wanted to also draw your attention to is the spreadsheet here I mentioned at the beginning. I pulled some. Does anybody in here use AI or anything? You guys are hearing a lot about AI, probably as it relates to like frauds and scams. Well, there are good uses for it too. Things like what I created here for you guys. It's a curated list of activities all around central Indiana. So I tried to include Hamilton County, Hendricks County, all the surrounding counties, as well as Marion County, and they're separated into different categories. So you'll see creative hobbies and classes, cultural and music events. What's the next category? Educational and social series, and physical activities, and then senior community centers. Wait, there might be another category. Did I miss one? No, that's it. So you've got silver sneakers on here. Um, lots of senior communities, the YMCA, the library, lots of resources here, and they're all alphabetized and with websites and then details about what those classes are. Additionally, we're going to pull from you. So this is going to be an interactive activity about things that you all do to stay active and social, share with the crowd as well as the folks online. If there are things that you do that you enjoy and you want to share with the group, we're gonna share those. So it's gonna be an interactive event. So we do have questions. We also have Trilogy in the back, but she's our marketing gal, so she's not the activities coordinator, but she's going to do her best to answer questions specific about activities at Trilogy too. Welcome. Just make sure you get a space that has a spreadsheet here. Let me see. Yeah, that one does. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so you guys introduced yourselves. What type of activities have you found most engaging or popular? Either it doesn't have to be necessarily at your community, but obviously it can be at your community. Even the residents at your community, because I know inside Majestic Care, it's a very there's always people moving around in there, going places and just busy. So what kind of activities have you guys found most popular to your residents?
I am going to say anything that's hands-on. We of course have the tree of life back there that you'll see that was very, very popular. You can see that they started this with their hands and then they added on with verbiage. They, the leaves are the verbiage basically on what their feelings are. So it's very, very beautiful. Gardening, we do have a garden that the residents, again, are hands-on. They will go water the flowers. They will even go down to
And they're
picking
raised garden beds.
their raised
Yeah,
garden
yeah.
beds. Yep. Yep. Yeah, we have tomatoes, we have peppers, flowers. And again, Jamie kind of head that off and help the residents plant these tomato plants and the flowers. So she's very, very, very involved with the residents and getting them started on an activity.
Did you want to add anything?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Questions? You just again, raise your hand, shout it out. If you're online, unmute yourself, or on your phone, *6. So are people, I had a question as you were talking. Are people who are not a resident at Majestic Care allowed to come for your activities?
So that's a very good question. Yes, they are. However, we would need to have, like it's scheduled
Yeah.
so we
right.
can have enough,
Advance notice.
enough
Mhm.
notice and the tools for each person. But yes, we would love for some, some folks to come in and do some of the artwork. Jamie would love it, I know.
Uh,
The more crowded her art room is, the happier she
The
is.
better.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
They're visiting and.
We had an event there a while back, and it was, you guys had an activity going on before that. It was
Mhm.
in the room that we did that event in. So
Oh yeah.
it's a good, nice. I was noticing, can I call you out? Because I was looking when I was putting together this list, I saw crocheting and knitting, and then as I was talking, I was like, oh, she brought her activity with her. Is this crocheting? I don't mean to put you on this spot. If you're embarrassed, just tell me to shut up. Okay. It's knitting. Okay. All right. Anybody else into knitting, crocheting, or quilting? Quilting's a big one. Yeah. Anybody? I remember my grandma, she made Afghans for us. She crocheted them. She actually taught me how to crochet. I don't know if I could remember how to do it now, unfortunately. And then she got into quilting. So we each have like an Afghan and quilts. But quilting, do you still have to have the big thing, the big table to put them all together? You do? Yeah. Anybody? You don't? Checkbook? Oh, you need a checkbook. I was like, wait, what is that? Is it expensive?
Mhm.
Oh, Yeah. Do you want to? That's it. Well, I didn't come to you, so.
There are many quilt guilds around and available. Marcia also happens to belong to Mudsock Quilt Guild, which meets on the second Monday of the month at Cornerstone Lutheran in Fishers. In Fishers, yes. And they're connected very much with Community North Hospital, and usually about 300 quilts get donated to Community North to distribute on Christmas Day.
Lovely. Do you all think that quilting and knitting and crocheting, what do you think are the upcoming generations, is it something that is going to continue on, a tradition that's going to continue on, you think? There are lots of younger, oh, that's good to know. Yeah, so the younger generations are interested in it.
One of the things it seems to support is community and meeting other people. So it's really a circle and you just keep your hands busy, right?
That's fun. And there is psychological benefits to it, right? As well as, motor skills and things like that. Okay, so let's go. Speaking of which, cognitive, what cognitive or brain stimulating activities have you all found beneficial at your particular community, or even again outside from your past experiences?
So art, it can be very therapeutic, visually, tactilely. So whether it's a sensory based project, like sand or clay or something of that nature, or whether it's a thought provoking art therapy project where you're reflecting and thinking, and it's introspective art is what I like to call it, because you're gathering things from what you know, what you believe, what you found and learned through your life, and you're showing it interpretively with whatever project that we have going on. So there's a lot of stimulation that's happening there, whether it's in your hands, your heart, your mind. And I like tapping into that. And by knowing each individual resident, and senior, I can find what makes them tick. And that's the fun of it. So, I know that this person, prefers this. And so we can target and hone in on that, or this one, something different. So pretty much every activity, I come at it from all the different angles. And so all of that stimulating, from what it seems to show me in the class. So there's
Yeah.
that.
Are there any yoga fans in the room besides myself? So what I love about yoga is it's a very efficient activity. So you're working your body, and there are lots of different yoga classes. In fact, I didn't even put this on the list, but I'm a member of Lifetime, and they have so their seniors community there is called Aurora, and so they have Aurora Yoga, which is going to be not as strenuous or less of an impact. It's going to be probably more stretching and balance. But yeah, coffee's here and pastries, so you guys help yourself. This is totally relaxed environment. So you're moving your body, you're stretching, you're working on balance, you're working on strength in yoga, but you're also using your mind to remember the patterns, or the flow, what they call in yoga flow. So you might move from one position to the next, and you'll do that, and it'll create a pattern. You'll do it multiple times over. And so just using your mind to remember that is helping your cognitive abilities. So you're working your mind, your memory, and then the relaxation part of it, or the meditation part of it, is also, so you get all of these benefits from one class. Sometimes they're 45 minutes and sometimes they're 60, just depending on. So Lifetime did not pay me, although they should, right? Yeah, so the Aurora, they have that, I'm sure, at other gyms too. And I think, in fact, there might be some listed on this, the handout here. Any questions so far? Any comments? Anybody else have anything to add in terms of cognitive? Yes, ma'am. Online too, feel free, again, type your questions in the comments or unmute yourself and just start talking away.
This isn't cognitive so much as it is New Palestine. There's a Lutheran church there, Cross of Grace. And one Friday a month, the third Friday of the month, you bring in whatever project you're working on and a snack if you so desire. And so I'm bringing old photograph albums and I'm going through pictures and pitching. Other people are knitting. Other people are embroidering. Some people are painting. What's the one called where you have the little dots and you stab the
Diamond art.
diamond dot. So you just bring what you want to work on and gab and tell jokes. And, Yeah.
And you live.
no, I live up in Lawrence, but you don't have to be a member of their church. Some are, some aren't. So it's just a gathering of people and they bring whatever they want to work on.
Great. And what a way of good social outlet too, you know? I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I just get in the pattern of staying at home for everything, especially since 2020, because you can have your groceries delivered, your food delivered, your TV, you know, streamed in. So you don't really have to leave your house for much, but we are social animals, so we need to be socializing, right? Okay, good. Any more questions, comments, online or otherwise? All right. Question 4, what are some unique or different activities that your residents have shown interest in? Or just as you're getting to know them, or hobbies that they've brought in, things like that.
We're really fortunate. We have a really diverse community, and I've noticed kind of across the board, whether, you know, somebody was an architect or engineer, that's where their interests lie, or, you know, whether they were in the service, or a homemaker. You know, we have some authors and writers. So I've kind of been tailoring different activities and classes around what their passions were, what they did, what they like to do, what they want to continue to do. So I've sort of been planning activities around what ignites their soul on fire, and because that's what it's about. You want to bring them that spark. And so I mean, we started a poetry class, you know, for a
that's
few months
great.
there.
Mhm.
During my art time, I would
Yeah.
call art and soul, you know, with Jamie, because it's art and soul. So you know, just touching on all of these different aspects of art and life, and everyone's sort of having an opportunity to show their talents. So we kind of go through a lot of different things. I mean, just all across the board. So yeah,
That's great.
yeah.
You want to add?
Yeah, and I'm also going to add that we also have folks who come in. You know, I had a gentleman a month or so ago said that you know, his big interest wasn't necessarily art, but it was Wii bowling or anything Wii. So yeah,
Wii bowling. Yeah.
Wii bowling.
Anybody else Wii bowled? It's kind of addicting. It's
Yeah, or
the best
dancing.
thing ever. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, not to say that art isn't important, because it's very important. But some other folks like other activities such as the Wii.
Yeah.
And we really try to accommodate each and every resident with
Is
their
is that
their
that's not
choices.
Xbox. It's
It's
its own thing.
Its own thing,
WII.
yeah.
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 And it's still a thing, right?
Oh, it's still a
Yeah,
thing.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
All right, you put the Wii on smart TV.
Can you put the
Yes.
Wii on a smart TV? Yes, you can. So yeah, and it's been a while since I've bowled, but it's on the TV and the pins are there and you use the little thing and you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun.
It's
but
a
I'll
lot of
tell you,
fun.
If you get really into it, it's also great physical exercise
Yes.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Anything else you want to add? Okay. Questions, comments? Okay. How do you adapt activities to be inclusive of those with different abilities? And it sounds like you've connected to what their particular interests are, how they're creative. Since you've been talking about that, tapping into each person's creativity, I thinking of this story. It's been years and years, like over 20 years ago. I was at a job interview and they asked me, anybody say just something really stupid at an interview? That was me. And it was about creativity. They asked me if I was creative. And I said, no, I'm not, which was so silly. I didn't get the job. Maybe that's why. But I mean, now that, much older, we're all creative in on our own certain,
Yes.
ways. Whether it's really good at problem solving.
Yes.
And there's a lot of ways to transfer what we did as for our careers into a hobby
Skill set.
or a skill set outside of our careers. So transitioning from working full time, a lot of times people, their identity is wrapped up in what they did for their career. And so when they don't have that anymore, they're looking to fill that void, right? And so
Correct.
it sounds like that's what you've done at Majestic Care is
It's
feel
a
that.
careful
Yeah.
balance and it's a
Yeah.
careful process. And sometimes it takes a little bit of time, but the moment where you see you've done it, the light that just turns on and then the results, it's so satisfying and rewarding. And I just love it. I just love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. That's awesome. Okay. Oh, so the question
Okay.
was, I got sidetracked. How do you adapt activities to be inclusive?
So that's interesting because, like I said, because I get to know each individual person that I come in contact with, I know their story, I know their history, I know what makes them tick. So I think of those things as I'm planning for the month and what's happening in the classroom. And a lot of residents will just come in and hang out. They're not there to do necessarily what
Yeah,
we're working on,
for the
but they want to be
social,
part of the
yeah.
community. They want to be
Mhm.
part of the energy and they're helpful. So that's one thing actually that's an adaptive feature in our classroom is, let's say someone has dexterity issues and they can't operate the scissors as well as the person next to them. Well, they help each other and it becomes this communal sort of thing to where there isn't a limitation in that classroom because everyone's sort of helping the next or the next. And I've even talked to some of our physical therapy department. And I'm like, hey, if someone's having issues with this or this, is there a device that would be
Mhm.
helpful? And I've adapted some of my tools in the classroom with foam ends so they can hold it better and things like that. There's adapted devices that have helped me so someone can hold something and not feel like they're going to drop it. So there's a lot of different things that we do in there, I would say, just to make sure no one is feeling like they're less than or can't get it done. We make sure they do.
What about someone in cognitive decline? How can we include them in some of the activities? Well, go ahead.
Sure.
Yeah.
So when you're declining cognitively, I mean, it's frustrating, right? So to begin, first and foremost, it can be very frustrating for that individual not being able to express themselves clearly, not feeling balanced, their norm, if you will. Even the people around them who care for them, love them, have watched them grow and move in their lives. So number one, a calming, accepting, supportive atmosphere is huge. When you walk in, you are beautiful, you are accepted, you are wonderful, you are perfect just the way you are. That's huge. You don't walk in and feel that there's a deficiency. Everyone is on the same playing field, everything's calm, inviting, welcoming. It's just about support. Whatever that is for that particular individual, I think, to feel supported, to feel loved, to feel like, you know, there's no option to fail, that's where it's at, honestly, in
It-
my room.
Yeah, and I'll add, there's been more times than not that we've had folks that have that decline, and Jody will go to Jamie and say, "Help!" You know, they need to be more active in here with you and your folks. Give me some ideas, or give this individual some ideas, on what they can do to calm them because they could be a bit frustrated, and it never fails that there's always something that works out for them. And I also wanted to add, I'm going to kind of backtrack a little bit about Jamie made the statement about people that just come in to sit and watch, just for that social.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she doesn't really give herself enough credit, and I'm going to give it to her because most people that come in to just sit and watch end up coming back and joining that art class.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
I was about to say somebody online is shaking their head and it was you. It's like somebody online agrees.
Just taking the time to actually go try something new or observe something new, and then you might find yourself jumping in. I mean, yeah, there's tons of things like that you
Yeah,
just got to
absolutely.
give yourself that push to do it.
Oh, that,
I tell my kids, if you're not learning, you're not living. You're not learning, you're not living.
that's true. I have to tell this quick
Go
story.
ahead.
This quick story.
Stories are great.
So one gentleman that has never done art in his life and that's not his thing, but he likes to be social and hang out and come with the group, and he's hilarious, kind of the life of the room. During the 500 Indy 500 races, we built our own little 500 race cars and we decorated them and painted them. And I went home and I built a track, a long track, almost
Oh,
like a
that's fun.
Pinewood Derby
Yeah.
track.
Oh,
So we were going to have our majestic race. So we all went that we had trophies, we had snacks, and we were all out there. So everyone was going to race their car and we were going to see who the winner was. He would join our classes, but he wouldn't do anything. But he did this one project. He built the
You
car.
found his-
He built the
you found
car.
his,
He won.
interest.
To this day, he talks about, I won the one class I went to. I said, that's why you need to come back to more classes, but he's so proud. And there was so much trash talking between the guys who were building the car.
bragging rights.
You're cheating and all this. It was
That's
so much
amazing.
fun.
Sure.
Uh-huh.
Any
So fun.
Pinewood Derby fans,
Mhm.
Boy
Yeah.
Scout fans? I was a Girl Scout troop leader for my daughter years ago. And there were 3 of us. We called ourselves the bad moms of Girl Scout troop leaders because we sort of did whatever we wanted to. But I will tell you, it seems like, I hope nobody from Girl Scouts is watching right now. It seems like the Boy Scouts are way more organized than the Girl Scouts from just an inside the organizational viewpoint. So any questions, comments in person, online, otherwise? What outings do you guys do on a regular or, that have come up just one-offs? And what seems to be the most popular?
So definitely the lunch outings, food
Amazing.
attracts. We do that 2 or 3 times a month. Typically another gal that's in the activity department, her name is Joan, who she's been there for 25 plus years. I think she kind of gets some feedback
You know
on.
her?
you
Sarah used
remember
to
her?
work in this building.
Yep.
She knows.
So
people
she
in the
kind of, I think she kind of takes some requests from the residents where they want to go. I mean, they've been all the way to Danville.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
that's a haul.
yeah, she doesn't care how far the distance is. She's just amazing. But I want to tell you about my favorite trip that they went on. Joan put it all together. It was a secret
Okay.
secret trip.
Like a surprise
The
trip.
mystery
That's
trip.
fun.
Yep. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. So it was a big thing. Like everybody's like, where's the mystery trip? Where's the mystery trip? And she said, she let them know, well, be prepared, to leave at, just 9 a.m. and we're not going to get back till 8 or 9 p.m. So I myself am like, where the heck is the mystery trip?
You didn't know either.
I had no idea. They went on a Saturday. So what they did was they drove down to southern Indiana, got on a riverboat
Nice.
down by Louisville and rode the riverboat for probably about 7-8 hours. They still talk about that.
Oh, that's fun.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so where they're going to go. Yeah.
Mysterious,
But that's my favorite one because still to this day, people still talk about that. Couldn't believe that we would take them that far, and put them on a riverboat and they got to see beautiful
yeah.
down on the Ohio River. It's just
Yeah,
gorgeous.
Yeah. One
So
of our most popular topics was on travel, and I don't know if you guys were here in the room or online. The gal who owns a Pack Up and Go, it's similar to that, where it's a travel agency, but you do a survey and you tell them what your interests are, what your budget is, this sort of thing. And then they plan a trip for you and you don't find out until the morning or whatever time you're leaving that, and you find out the details of the trip. So it's kind of like that. I mean, they tell you, they give you a packing list so you're not unprepared. or
Right. I
anything
think
like
it was
that.
recently they went to Madison, Indiana
Yeah.
to look, go through museums and things like that. That was also a big hit. Joan she goes all the way.
Yeah.
Go big or go home, she says.
That's great. Yes, ma'am. I'm coming to you with the microphone.
So you guys have independent living and also assisted living. So with your activities, and especially the trips, do you mix the groups?
Absolutely.
Do they eat together? And
Yes.
so they're like living in the,
Yep. All is welcome. Yep. So one thing, honestly, that I take great pride in our community is, yes, everybody's a resident, but also they all treat each other like their family. Yeah. So yes, we don't say only independent living or only assisted living. We group them all together.
Yeah, that is great. And I've always, even when it was a different company, that building has, if you guys don't know where Majestic Care is, it's just right behind the Meyer. There's lots of new construction there
Mhm.
now over the years, but that building has always been a busy building. Like there's always
Always.
people milling around and
Mhm.
activities. So, what are your best tips for people who hesitate maybe about trying something new?
I ask what the hesitation is. If it's because they don't want to be in a group, they don't want to feel they're put on the spot, or they don't want to fail and look silly or whatever it is, then I come to them. I go to their home, to their apartment, and I bring the class. I bring the class to them. Whatever the project is that we're going to do for that day for Art and Soul, I'll pack it all in, and I'll go and we'll do it together, one on one. See if that sort of is the issue, and get to know them a little bit better, and then sort of slowly have them come down to the classroom, maybe just them and me, and before we just kind of throw them in this like huge, noisy, boisterous class setting. So, I take it one step at a time, and each person, it's individual, and more often than not, just by talking with someone, you can kind of figure out where their reservations are. And, where there's a will, there's a way. And I haven't found yet, knock on wood, um, uh, oh, I haven't found that I haven't been able to sort of help them come out of their shell, get to know people. I've introduced people together, like, they used to do this. They love this, let me introduce you to her or him. And all of a sudden they're friends. And it just takes a little time, I think, for people to find their niche and find their comfortability, and I try my best to kind of be the buffer for that, so, yeah.
I'm coming your way. Sorry, I didn't see you sooner.
So are the classes part of their housing fee, or do they pay for each class separately?
They do not pay for the classes separate. That's all included. Yeah, there's never a charge. The only time we have charges is like for that mystery trip. And it was a small charge for like their meal that was on the boat, things like that. But there's never a charge for these art classes
The gardening.
or the gardening.
Now that you guys have had an opportunity to kind of look through the list I gave you there, or as you're looking through it now, what questions do you have or comments you want to add if there's something missing? I'm coming your way, ma'am, to the list because again, we want to include you all, and if there's something that you've got to share with the room, feel free. Yes, ma'am.
Well, after you mentioned your experience with Girl Scouts, at my church, it was before COVID. Some ladies mentioned they were retired Girl Scouts, such as I am too. And they said they were involved with a group of older ladies who help troops, Girl Scout troops. So it was, I would call a retired Girl Scout, advisory group is what I suppose you call it. But after your experience, I don't know if you want to join or
Well, I was a Girl Scout And then when my daughter was in elementary school, we decided, and then 2020 happened, and then just, everything changed then. But I love that about the a different, just the intergenerational mixing is so important. When I was in Girl Scouts, they were called nursing homes back then, but we don't call them that now. And they're not like that now, but we would go. I'm from Brownsburg. We would go to the senior communities and we would sing. For our Girl Scouts, we would take them into communities and they would do like community trick or treating. So the residents there would have candy and they would walk around to their apartments, and everyone was dressing up, the girls and the residents, and it's just a really fun way to remind children that old people are not scary. We're
They're
not
not.
scary. Are still relevant, right? And we have lots of knowledge to impart. And so yeah, that intergenerational mixing is so important.
Very important.
To maintain. Anyone else want to add to? Yes.
So I'm doing a lot of talking here. So I am a member of Heritage Place, which you have listed there. And, a lot of people know about it because it's been around for a really long time, but it's really fun. So I started out with bridge, but they were too serious. And then I took ukulele lessons because my neighbor wanted to play the ukulele. And then I also do euchre there, but it's really a fun place to go. There's a membership fee, but you can come and test the things for a while. The two staffed office, and they're wonderful. So, and they used to do lunch. They don't do lunch anymore, but they sure have a lot of fun and laughter. So, and the ukulele group, we're at the state fair, but they also go around to senior living places. So
Nice.
you guys might want to have them come up there.
Oh yes, they did.
Well, anything. So if you have something you want to do, you want to bring the quilt there, bring the quilting people there. Whatever you want, you can come and propose classes. So yeah.
Do you guys know about Heritage Place? It's kind of tucked away off of Illinois and 25th Street.
No, it's 40. No, it's not the resident. It's not the residential Heritage Place. It's a senior center, basically. It's 46th in Illinois. Yeah. And it's in that church. It's in the building of the church. So the Catholic school, yeah. Is it St. Thomas? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's in that area.
Oh, is that
The old University Park Christian Church. Yeah.
church? Yeah, Heritage Place has been active in the community for a really long time. And I love that you mentioned euchre and ukulele. That's amazing. Anyone else want to add? What are things that you guys do that you enjoy and you want to share with the group?
Something that some of the ladies did at our church a couple years ago was we went down on Main Street to the Dollhouse Museum. It was so fun because most of us had doll houses. My dad built mine and my mom made the curtains. It was it's very short as far as how many displays, like it wouldn't wear anybody out.
Where is it?
On Main Street
Carmel?
in
Okay,
Carmel. Yeah. Yes, yes.
Museum of Miniature House.
And they're doll houses
Yes,
basically,
yeah.
but there's so many of them that they've squeezed into this place. And they do have stairs, but they also have a walkway that if walking is difficult, like if you had a walker
Mhm.
or cane, you could still get in.
Accessible.
Yeah, and they have special, I think it's $8 for seniors,
Oh, that's great.
but with a group, maybe it'd be cheaper.
Yeah, maybe you could plan a group together. One of my neighbors actually builds and buys and furniture. She's really into that. And she's not a senior citizen. So, but yeah, it's a really great hobby that she's gotten into. Anybody else?
Yeah, you have to check and they change the hours.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So probably best to call the miniature. Is it the Dollhouse Museum? Is that what it's called? Or the, yeah, if you just do a Google search. I don't think that came up in my search. I don't remember seeing it on here.
I also wanted to add on, as far as the activities, we also have fishing there. It's a catch and release, but we have several gentlemen that daily will go out and go fishing. It's therapeutic for them. They sit out on the dock and fish. And then we also have, once a month, we have a gazebo gathering. The gazebo kind of sits over the pond. Specifically for, we like to welcome new residents, bring them down to the gazebo, get to know them, and so they can get to know us. But those are some other activities that we do. I could go on and on and on about activities that we do.
The libraries, the Indianapolis Public Library, as well as the Carmel Library. I think the Carmel Library is listed on here too. Bird watching groups, the YMCA's, all the YMCA's. They have do you guys, does anybody do the monthly lunch and learns at the YMCA's? Do you like them? Do you enjoy that? And so, yeah, silver sneakers too. Yeah. Somebody's hand. Oh, yes.
Well, this isn't exactly a place to go. This is a stay-at-home activity for me, but a couple of months ago, I got on, I think it was on Facebook, and I get sidetracked. I go off on all these tangents of things that come up, and there's a lot of crafts that come up. And so I got ambitious just before the 4th of July, and I decided to try one of the crafts of just, putting together all these bows. And it wasn't terribly expensive to get the ribbon and the ring from Hobby Lobby. That I made my own 4th of July door hanger. And it was pretty amazing because my left hand doesn't want to work too well, but it came out pretty well. And it was not hard. It was just time consuming. So I'm sorry it's not something you can do with the group unless you get a group of your friends together and you want to do things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a group of my friends used to do that. Same thing. It'd be craft night would have like a little tiny pitch in, and then we get busy on, some would knit, some would sew, some would crochet and embroider, whatever we wanted to do. We'd bring it along and sit there and do it. There's also a bunch of easier things that are on the internet. Facebook, I guess, is where I got them. No. I don't even want to get started on that if there's a lot of things on it. No. But yeah, and these are a lot of things that, like, I call it a million things you can do with the glue gun. Million things you can put together with the glue gun. And there's some easier activities. One is like making ghosts for Halloween. I want to do that just with cheesecloth and starch, and then you glue the eyes on. And did you? I want to do that. There's some cute Christmas ones. You can take an old pickle jar and glue down a Christmas tree and a little tiny reindeer, put snow in it, and then put the little lights around it and make a take a little piece of cloth and cover up the lid so it doesn't say plastic pickles on it, and all kinds of things. And you could get a group together and do that. So many things are from the Dollar General. Very inexpensive.
I'm not a crafter, but I do enjoy some of those, just looking at them.
She said it.
I'm not a crafter. No, I am creative, but I'm just not creative in a crafting sort of way. I'm creative in a different sort of way.
There you go.
When it comes to problem solving, how's that? Which works well in this industry. Anybody else want to share anything that they've got? That's okay. Oh, we got two. I'll get to you right after her.
So the Ollie, you have it listed for IU. I did not know it was an IU. I know it's at Indiana State. And we joined. My neighbor and I joined and went out and made cannolis. So the OLLI program is a national program through universities, but I did not know they were local here. So thank you for that. But they have all kinds of things, offerings. Oh, sure, Lifetime, whatever. Yeah. Started in California, but it went national. So,
Yeah, it is. I didn't mention it because it was in Bloomington.
well, you said maybe here too. So, well, we can request them to bring it here. Because if it's associated with some university, I would think that they can do it to their other universities. That was the problem, because we don't want to drive to Terre Haute all the time. Yeah.
I'm looking, it's on here. I was just looking at it.
Probably is it under educational?
Yeah.
It's IU, yeah.
Yeah, it is Senior Learning Programs at Indiana University, OLLI, Osher Lifelong Learning Institute. So you could go to olli.indiana.edu, but if it's a national organization, I'm sure you could probably just look up OLLI, OLLI, and find if there is a local program here. There could be one at University of Indianapolis. There could be one at any of the different IU campuses. So IUPUI is now IU. Okay. Something that's already established with the school. Yeah. Yeah, I really, that one sounds very interesting. Lifelong learning programs. So imagine you could just go onto the website and find different topics and see what the different topics are. Yeah. I did not go to every single one of these websites, although I went to a few. But that one sounds interesting. Yeah. Oh. we switched mics. I did not forget.
One of the most fulfilling classes I had was Purdue University's Master Gardener class. It's been a while since I've been there, so I'm not sure my information is up to date. But if you go online to Master Gardener, Purdue University, you'll find all kinds of information. And they'll answer questions you might have about your specific garden. In fact, part of the classes were the program was weekly classes, and then you'd have to volunteer to answer calls or go to Holiday Park and help them with a problem they had. So it was a very learning, very fulfilling kind of organization. And if you're interested in gardening, you might want to look into that.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
You had to throw in, since we were talking about IU, you had to get in that Purdue jab in there, right? Yeah. Well, okay, one sec. Let me,
I don't know if this is on your list, but the Fishers Library has the Ignite Studio. So that is where they have an artist come in and they spend a few months there. I think right now we have a textile artist. So she's doing like macrame classes and that sort of thing. But they have yeah. So Ignite Studio at the Fishers Library, but it's in their basement and it just has little craft kits that you can come and do crafts, water painting, different crafts. It has a dry art studio area where they have sewing machines that you can use, even an embroidery machine that you can learn to program. They have die cutting, they have 3D printers. All of this is free to use, and the classes and everything. If you're working on a big project, you can even rent out a space, like a little closet, to lock up your project as you're working on it. So you don't have to mess up your house. I mean, it's kind of nice. So really amazing space.
thanks for sharing that.
It's Fishers, so it's technically the Hamilton East. Yeah.
That is part of it. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. The Mid-North Shepherd Center, which is on this list, that offers programs and activities for senior members, volunteers, they're getting ready to start their Domestic Decision Series program, which starts October 16th. And the center, it's an 8-part series It starts the 16th. It's free and open to the public each Wednesday from 11 a.m. to noon at the North United Methodist Church at 38th and Meridian. The sessions are just briefly capitalism versus socialism, Christian nationalism, fostering dialogue, which is depolarizing the country, which wouldn't that be wonderful? Water supply, elder care, private equity, and the Supreme Court. All the speakers are excellent speakers. They're doctors and lawyers and mostly university staff from IU Indianapolis. It's an excellent program. It's free and it starts the 16th and lasts an hour. And we go to the center a lot, but the domestic decision series is one of our favorites.
That's great. I spoke there. I don't know if it was that series or not, but yeah, very a beautiful church, by the way. Yeah, easy to get to straight down Meridian. So, what is it called? Again? Domestic.
It's the domestic decisions. It's domestic decision series, and it's the Mid-North Shepherd Center at United Methodist at 38th and Meridian. Yeah, there's some excellent program. I wish I'd have brought the flyers with me, but anyway, the speakers are great, and it's just a wonderful program.
Well, you can bring them next month and share. Or if you want to email them to me, I'll add them to the Google Drive. Yeah, that's great.
So I'm a member of the Marion County Genealogy Society. So I'm a longtime family lineage researcher. So Hamilton East has an amazing collection up there. And, you know, a lot of the libraries and even the little libraries around, there's great little road trips. You know, if you want to go find cousins, I found cousins that I didn't know in Morgan County and whatever. But the Marion County Genealogy Society is open. Their resource area is open every Wednesday. Oh gosh, what's the time? 11 to 3. So, and it's out on East Washington Street at Flannery and Buchanan. Yeah. So, but they're listed in there. So it's the closer one. And I can't remember there's two. Yeah, it's Memorial Gardens. Yeah. And they, you know, when you go in there, there's a little building off to the right. And so Bruce Buchanan has allowed Marion County Genealogy Society to lease that building. So they have a collection there. So if you have Marion County or Indiana people and you want some help in finding your family, they're open and they'll help.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. It seems like there's so much to do and so much of it is free that you could really stay busy all the time, you know. In other countries, they don't even have the word retire in their language, or they just don't retire. I think in America, you know, and you guys probably see it a lot at your community, Trilogy, you guys probably see it at your community, even BrightstarCare, Dave with assisted living locators, as when you're working full time and then if you stop immediately and retire, which is common in America, what do you do with all of your time? You know, my mom's not here, so we can talk about her. She's been talking about retiring for years, but I think she just doesn't know what is she going to do with her time? So all the grandkids, oh gosh, no. All right. While she's out playing, my mom has a job at your house to dust. I'll tell her. I don't know if she's watching online or what. Anybody, speaking of online, anybody have something online that you want to share? You can unmute your mics or type it in the comments box. Just give everybody an opportunity. Sarah will tell me if you see anything. Anybody else have anything to share? Yes, me. Oh, yeah. You.
I just wanted to add, if you wanted to see the artwork other than this artwork back here, you can follow us and like us on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll be able to see all of the creations that we have.
What's your handle on social media? Your handle. Like, what are you?
Oh, yeah. Majestic Care of Carmel, assisted and independent living. You have to make sure that you put that in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Majestic Care of Carmel, assisted and independent living. Perfect.
If you only put Majestic Care of Carmel, you're not going to see the assisted and independent living. center.
Okay, got it. Assisted, independent and assisted living. Okay, so for those of you in the room, there our Google Drive has this spreadsheet. I have it in PDF form, and then I also have it in Excel spreadsheet form if you want to browse it that way. And feel free, if you're online and you did find it, it's tiny URL. It's the link to the event handouts. If you just type in tiny, TINY, URL.com, and then a slash event handouts with an S at the end. It'll take you to the folder that has all of our handouts, and you can share it with friends. And if you're if you're twitching a little bit because some of the lines are not marked on yours, the version that I have there, all of the lines are marked on the Excel spreadsheet. If anybody noticed that. Are you gonna put it in there? Yeah. Oh, are you gonna try it? Yeah, just to me. Yeah. Okay, and then before we get to giveaways, I wanted to make you guys aware. I put this in the newsletter, but I think I didn't add how to RSVP for this. There is, so we listen to what you guys say in the feedback. So this topic, crafts and hobbies for seniors, was a suggestion by one of our audience members. Another one has always been really popular is fraud and scams. So a gal approached me and asked me if we wanted to be a part of this event that they've had. I don't know how many years, but it's an ongoing annual event. AI isn't sci-fi, free fraud workshop and lunch. It's targeted to older adults and their family. It's Tuesday, October 8th. So it's going to be before our next event, which is why I'm telling you now, because our event is that week too. It's on the 10th. It is at Emmanuel Church. And this flyer is in the Google Drive too. And then I have it here if you guys want to take pictures of it. But Emmanuel Church is down in Greenwood, 1640 West Stones Crossing. The FBI will be there. So we've had the FBI on our panel before. Attorney General's office, Channel 13, and I believe the Better Business Bureau will be there too. Secretary of State is one of the panelists, Marie Cassiter, and lots of exhibitors. So sort of like a health fair. Sarah's going to be there. But she told me that about 200 people attend. So it's a pretty big event. And then if you RSVP if you're one of the first 200 to RSVP, they pay for your lunch. So you could call the same number that you call to RSVP for this event. It's 317-731. Somebody's writing it down, so I'll talk slower. 317-731-2289. Or if you go to the link on Google Drive, or if you go to the flyer on Google Drive, there's a link that you can click and you fill out the form just like you RSVP for these events, if you RSVP online. You can also just text Sarah or I directly and we'll RSVP for you. And so if you're in the room, I have the flyer up here. You can take a picture of it. If you're online, just go to that Google Drive and you'll find the flyer there. Or the newsletter. Yes. Yes. Yes, sir.
I just Googled the Purdue Master Gardeners program. It's online, it's active. I'm sorry I didn't think of this sooner, but it's very easy to get to. Master Gardeners or Purdue Master Gardeners.
Oh.
It lists the events, the hours, what's required to get a certificate, things they have online.
That's awesome. And do you go to West Lafayette for that?
No, Purdue had classes at an office building, an office building on 86th and 465, but they also had classes in a building across the street from the fairgrounds. And I assume that if you go on the website, you'll probably find other locations as well. So you don't have to leave the city. They were very accommodating about locations. And it looked like the greater the interest, they'd find a location for those students.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I know there's people who are, I was just, when I was leaving my neighborhood today, I was looking at this house. It was right in front of me at the stop sign, and I was just admiring their landscape. And I'm like, that's some sort of master gardener because I can't get my stuff to look that way. What?
That was an IU Master Gardener.
That, oh. Wah, wah, wah. He actually, I know they're Purdue fans because they have a rock, a landscape rock in their thing. So see, this is what I'm saying. No, I'm the IU gardener. They're the Purdue gardeners. That's why mine sucks, right? According to you, not me.
So I have a question for you. So can we get a hold of the master gardeners and get somebody to come out and do some gardening for us?
No, not you as an individual, if it were as a school or whatever, but what you can do.
Somebody get the mic. Hold on, because I want the online people to hear.
No, they won't come out and look at your yard. What they will do is answer your questions over the phone and give you advice, tell you where you can look. But they'll help a church, they'll help an institution. In fact, that was part of the volunteer work you had to do. Maybe go to a church or whatever and help out, but not individuals. Try IU.
We're signing my mom up for stuff she doesn't even know about because she's not here. That's what she gets, right? It's her birthday weekend, so she's celebrating. That's why she's not here. So I didn't bring, I should have brought some sources, but the point why when an audience member recommended this topic, I thought it was a great topic because the point of finding something to fill your time is attached to finding a new purpose, to help from getting depressed or getting stagnant or not moving our bodies. Because if you don't move it, you lose it, right? And so it's working all of the physical and the cognitive things, finding things to fill your time, staying in connection and community with other folks. So when somebody suggested it, I thought it was a good topic to bring to you all. There's a statistic that says loneliness is it's likened to someone who smokes. I think it's like 2 packs of cigarettes a day in terms of what it does to your health. I've always heard that statistic, and I just thought it was so impactful. So we get in the habit of staying at home, but we're doing ourselves a disservice when we do that. So yeah. Any final questions or comments before we give away some prizes? Anybody online? I'm checking online one more time.
About the event that Phil mentioned.
Okay.
So I found the website for the Mid-North Shepherd Center. It's midnorthsc.org. midnorthsc.org. I don't see that specific event on here. It doesn't look like the website gets updated very often. Yeah, okay, we can update it later, but I do think if you go to that website, and I'll put this in the link too for the online people, but if you go to that website, you'll at least get the phone number and, location, all that you could call. So.
Yep. Okay, thank you for that online. Yeah, when I went, and again, I don't know if it was the program that I spoke at, but it was a packed crowd. I mean, a packed house. So,
It's a little less since COVID, of course.
oh yeah,
But
because it was
yeah, usually for the domestic decision series, there's usually 50 to 75 people there. And then they offer lunch afterwards too. It's for $6 or $7 or something like that if you're interested in that. But yeah, there's some excellent speakers right there.
Thank you. And I know it's south of 86th Street, Meridian and 38th Street can be a little dicey, but I promise you're safe down there. Yes, ma'am.
There's supposed to be a special on tonight by Oprah Winfrey on AI.
Oh, is there really? Do you guys have any more details about it?
I don't know a whole lot about it, but
Advertising it on TV.
yes.
Okay, Can we look that up? A special with Oprah Winfrey on AI at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Okay, for online folks, we'll look it up and we'll post it in the chat box. AI. I'm gonna have to find that myself. I've actually, I think I told you guys this a million times probably. I'm getting my MBA, and the professors actually encourage a lot of we talk about using AI, Chat GPT, for a lot of the papers that we write, a lot of research that we do, and they have embraced it. As long as you're putting it in your references and citing it, citing what prompts you use for Chat GPT, a lot of the professors are really embracing it. It's a major time saver. Anybody embraced AI or dug into it a little bit? Tiffany has. Do you have? Tell me your AI story real quick.
So I got involved with the Minka project. I'm on the advisory board, and Minka, MINKA project, it's down at the University of Southern Indiana, down at Evansville. And so they have a house that was built by Bill Thomas, who's a geriatrician. They're on their campus that is using all kinds of AI and assistance for seniors, growing older and living. So they do a lot of work down there. They have it was a GWEP program, and I don't know what GWEP stands for, GWEP or whatever. Anyway, they have a wonderful program. They train people in the nursing school to, be in assisted living and, a lot of dementia programs. So they're very strong in that area. But they have it's a great place to go visit. Oh my gosh, yes, I had not been there before, but I've been there a couple of times now. So, but they have a little house there, an independent living house for people as we age into the older category, oldster. I can't even say it. I am it, right? But yeah, and they're great because they've done so much research, and they've incorporated a lot of the other schools in the university with it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I did not know about that. They must have a geriatric program there, geriatric care program. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, here's the Oprah special, guys.
Okay, so it is tonight on ABC, 8 o'clock Eastern time. With Oprah Winfrey, she's gonna have, let's see, was it Sam Altman? I saw this somewhere. Yeah, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates, and technology reviewer Marquise Brownlee. So yeah, that should be interesting.
Yeah. ABC. Yeah. Is that 13? I know.
If you stream your TV, like if you have Hulu or whatever, it's not available until tomorrow. But if you have live TV, you should be able to watch it.
Yeah, that's interesting.